Owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating it.
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has reportedly been implicated in the theft of approximately $10 million, leading to her becoming homeless following an eviction. It has also been reported that the FBI may take her into custody.
I never thought it would come to this. One moment, I was living in a world of luxury, the envy of so many, and the next, I'm standing on the edge of oblivion, accused of stealing $10 million. They paint me as a villain, but they don't know the half of it. The boardroom battles, the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, it was all for something bigger, something meaningful. I allowed my hubris, arrogance, and temper get the best of me, and now I'm left with nothing but the cold sting of betrayal. Friends have turned to foes, and the media feasts on my downfall like vultures circling a carcass. Homelessness? It's a bitter pill to swallow. I never thought I'd be reduced to this. I want to scream, to fight back, to show them the truth behind the headlines. But in this game of power, it seems the only thing I'm truly going to lose is my freedom.
Owns a U-Haul rental and trucking business in South Suburban Dalton and says he went to the FBI several months ago, frustrated that the village of Dalton would not renew his business license. Gardner says he's been harassed and his business raided and shut down by Dalton police. He believes because he refused to make a donation to a civic event sponsored by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard.
And I talked to a couple of agents and I explained them what was going on. I gave them all my paperwork to show them what was happening in court and what was happening in Dalton. And they told me they was investigating and they would be.
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard has reportedly been implicated in the theft of approximately $10 million, leading to her becoming homeless following an eviction. It has also been reported that the FBI may take her into custody. Earlier rumors linked her extravagant shopping sprees and luxury vacations to questionable wire fraud activities. Now, authorities claim Henyard has plunged Dalton into severe financial distress, converting the town's funds into significant debt. Hard to believe, right? Recently, federal agents raided her home, discovering hidden safes, and a series of shocking revelations that are drawing widespread attention as the investigation deepens. Speculation is rampant, and more details are expected to emerge soon. This isn't your typical small-town scandal. Henyard was living like royalty, showcasing a lavish lifestyle straight out of a celebrity's playbook, while Dalton's finances were in free fall. Luxury handbags, extravagant getaways, and a security team costing more than most homes were all part of her daily life. But hold on, things are about to get even more intense. Rumors suggest that this small-town mayor might have funded her lavish lifestyle with taxpayer money, and the drama is heating up as the FBI closes in. In just a few months, Tiffany Henyard has gone from being Dalton's most infamous mayor to virtually disappearing from the spotlight. However, the story is far from over. It's rumored she has gone underground, attempting to cover her tracks like a magician's vanishing act. But how long can she stay hidden before the feds catch up with her? Her chaotic reign seems to be crumbling, and everyone is watching as the drama unfolds. The real question is whether Henyard is hiding or simply trying to avoid the heat. One thing is certain, she has a lot to answer for, and everyone is waiting for the final reckoning. Meanwhile, the residents of Dalton seem to have had enough of Henyard's leadership, and the Board of Trustees has taken a stand. When she called for a town meeting, not a single board member showed up. A clear message of defiance. Despite being snubbed, Henyard, ever resilient, took control of the situation, turning the moment into her own theatrical display. She boldly claimed that the entire corruption scandal was nothing more than a grand propaganda scheme aimed at tarnishing her reign. With dramatic flair, she declared, "This is my statement. If you don't want to hear it, there's the door. This isn't a Q&A. I'm here to ensure the residents know what's happening in Thornton Township." However, the townspeople, long weary of Tiffany's rhetoric, remained unconvinced. One attendee interrupted her bluntly, saying, "The residents already know you're stealing from them." Yet, even this sharp remark didn't shake Tiffany. She continued her speech, seemingly unfazed by the interruption, stating, "The controversy isn't just about my gaining power too fast. It's something deeper. I'm rare, one of a kind, and that makes people uneasy. It's all about control." However, Tiffany Henyard's issues extend far beyond negative press, touching on deeply questionable spending. Residents have grown increasingly suspicious of how she's managed both township and Dalton funds while serving as mayor. WGN investigators uncovered troubling financial details following a legal battle for credit card records. What they found was shocking. Henyard and her team had racked up $67,000 in travel expenses on Thornton Township's tab in just 5 months. Adding what she'd billed to Dalton residents pushed the total beyond $100,000. A staggering amount. Her explanation became even more absurd when considering that the expenses were allegedly for attending conferences, though it seemed more like indulging in a lavish lifestyle. For months, Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration had dodged requests for Dalton's financial records, blatantly ignoring state transparency laws. Even when Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul's office demanded the release of the documents, they continued to resist. However, their defiance ended when WGN's parent company took legal action. A lawsuit was filed in Cook County Circuit Court, and the judge wasn't persuaded by Henyard's usual tactics. The court ordered Dalton to release months of credit card statements from July to November 2023. These records revealed that Henyard and her associates had indulged in first-class flights, luxury hotels, airline upgrades, and even Uber Eats, all funded by taxpayer dollars. Dalton trustee Tammy Brown, one of the board members opposing Henyard, stated that despite numerous requests, she had been denied access to the financial statements. It seems that while key insiders are aware of the truth, Henyard's camp is actively hiding it from the public to avoid the inevitable outrage. Brown commented, "When you see things like this, it's a blow to the gut. Henyard kept this hidden from us because she knew we'd demand answers." In addition, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, brought in by the village board to investigate Henyard's financial management, raised early concerns. Lightfoot found that the village was not only deeply in debt, but that credit card spending had spiraled out of control. She reported that in April 2022, Dalton's general fund held
Highlight for you, particularly given overtime, what we saw as two outliers in officers, Officer Terry Young and Officer William Reed. Both of these individuals in the last 2 years have earned more in overtime than their base.
$0.61 million, but by May 2024, it had plunged to a shocking $365 million deficit. It became evident that due to a lack of effective oversight, Mayor Tiffany Henyard and her administration had flagrantly ignored proper checks and balances, leading the community into severe financial trouble. Calls for a federal investigation intensified after the Dalton Village Board approved a resolution urging a probe into Henyard's alleged corruption. The resolution was passed during a meeting attended by 4 of Henyard's 6 board colleagues, who expressed relief at its approval. Trustee Kiana Belcher noted, "There's been significant financial mismanagement. and we just want transparency to understand where all the money has gone. Bert Odelson, legislative counsel for the Dalton Board of Trustees, expressed outrage, stating it's a grave offense that 6 police cars were lost, along with the officers. While she prioritized payments for her personal security detail, Odelson also revealed that Henyard had been misusing the village's credit card for personal purchases at stores like Amazon, Target, Walgreens, and Wayfair. Allegedly, some of these funds were even used to rent a luxury home. Furthermore, Henyard is accused of authorizing a $561,000 check to repave her mother's driveway using taxpayer money. In a dramatic twist, the self-proclaimed supermayor has reportedly gone into hiding after the FBI arrived with a detailed list of her alleged corrupt activities. The FBI has requested personnel and disciplinary records for 29 Dalton employees, along with details of any contracts or payments involving Keith Freeman, Henyard's chief aide, who also serves a similar role in Thornton Township. Tiffany Henyard made history in 2021 as Dalton's youngest and first female mayor, following the death of longtime supervisor Frank Zuccaro in 2022. She also took on the role of Thornton Township supervisor. Her leadership initially sparked enthusiasm and high expectations. However, she has since faced accusations of misusing taxpayer funds for personal luxuries, including extravagant travel, private security, and even paying for her hairstylist. In January, an investigation by WGN revealed that Henyard and her team had charged over $67,000 to township credit cards for out-of-town travel during the first 5 months of 2023. But it doesn't stop there.
Attorney Michael McGrath says that snapshot of just 5 or 6 months of spending was revealed in the last couple of weeks by Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman, who's now cooperating with the board. He pleaded not guilty to a federal bankruptcy charge and is considered by some trustees to be a potential
A further investigation into Dalton's credit card statements uncovered an additional $33,900 charged to taxpayers for the same high-profile trips to cities like New York, Atlanta, and Portland. One of the most shocking discoveries was a 5-day trip to Austin, Texas. In July, Tiffany, along with her top aide Keith Freeman and 3 other township officials, managed to spend a staggering $20,000 in taxpayer money. Their expenses included $1,639 at the luxurious Fairmont Austin Hotel, $3,080 on steaks at Ruth's Chris, $53 on sports riding apparel, and $43 at Walgreens. These charges raised serious concerns, as public service should not involve shopping sprees and lavish dinners on the taxpayer's dime. Further investigation revealed $247 spent at major retailers like Walmart and Target, $1,144 at Amazon, $5,099 on Uber Eats and local restaurants, and $3,291 paid to Henyard's personal photographer. Records also surfaced showing that 3 luxury SUV leases, reportedly authorized by Henyard, have cost taxpayers more than $374,000. The evidence suggests Henyard has been living a lavish lifestyle. When confronted about her spending, her response only raised more questions, stating, "Then you should take a look at the budget again." Trustee Jason House disclosed that she has been enjoying extravagant vacations with village staff while the community struggles with multi-million-dollar debt. As a result, residents are at risk of homelessness and taxes are rising. If she truly possesses the business acumen she claims, it's time to reassess the budget. As a public servant, her duty is to the people, and these ongoing issues demand immediate attention. Jason formally announced his candidacy for the 2025 mayoral election in Dalton. Under the current mayor's administration, existing challenges have only intensified. Unresolved licensing disputes have led to numerous business closures, including Lawrence Gardner's trucking company inactive since January 2023. This followed accusations from the village that Gardner sold liquor without a proper license at an event, claims Gardner strongly denies. A judge has since ruled in his favor, leading Gardner to believe there are ulterior motives behind the village's actions. He argues that he, along with other business owners, complied with Mayor Henyard's request for a $3,500 donation to the village shortly after she took office. While the FBI has not officially confirmed an investigation into the mayor, Gardner claims to have been in contact with them for several months. This controversy has led many to distance themselves from Henyard's policies, affecting their willingness to operate under her leadership. Concerns about her leadership style have also surfaced from within her circle. Despite these accusations, Henyard responded firmly, stating, "This is not the truth. It's a one-sided narrative," and expressed frustration that the media focuses only on negative portrayals. Recently, dozens of Thornton Township residents united for a rally calling for Henyard's resignation and an investigation into her financial activities. Dubbed the Take Our Township Back rally, the event highlighted growing frustration over the lack of transparency and accountability regarding the management of tax dollars. In an effort to control expenses, Henyard centralized spending authority in her hands, sidelining other city officials from approving expenditures. This move, while strategic, has sparked outrage due to her unpredictable actions. Henyard has largely dismissed the numerous allegations against her, claiming she has documentation to support her assertions, only acknowledging those she could no longer conceal. Her consistent indifference and irresponsibility remain unchanged, with each new accusation further tarnishing her reputation. In March 2024,
extraordinary amount of money was spent unnecessarily.
Trustees voting not to approve thousands of dollars in expenditures for Taste of Thornton and other Henyard events, money that's already been spent.
A lot of that spending was done on credit cards. We just don't agree with.
Henyard was accused of improperly using $67,000 in tax funds for extensive travel. In response, the Dalton Board launched an investigation, requesting a review of the village's financial records and involving the FBI to clarify the matter, though Henyard has yet to fully address these allegations. During a village board meeting, Tiffany criticized the Dalton Board, accusing them of being a boys' club and obstructing her efforts out of spite. She issued a veto, claiming the investigation against her was a personal attack and presented a biased narrative. Tiffany stated, "As you can see, our village, our community, and I are under siege." She expressed disappointment that some participants only shared one side of the story, omitting crucial context, while acknowledging a $2 million deficit at Village Hall. Other board members later revealed that the actual deficit was much larger than Tiffany had stated. Former trustee Edward Steve commented that although the mayor often blames others for ongoing issues, she should also reflect on her own actions. Additionally, Tiffany is accused of using her power to silence critics, allegedly targeting those who oppose her. One prominent example is former village trustee Valeria Stubbs, who, after challenging Tiffany, reportedly had two of her tenants' vehicles attacked by a hitman allegedly sent by Tiffany. Stubbs claimed Tiffany cultivated ties with the police department to ensure that complaints against her were ignored. Tensions escalated when a former assistant of Tiffany accused her of self-serving behavior. The assistant reported mistreatment from a trustee on Tiffany's board. However, when she raised the issue with Tiffany, her concerns were supposedly dismissed with a warning that going public could harm her career. Despite filing a complaint against the trustee, the assistant found Tiffany's promises of support to be hollow, eventually being placed on unpaid medical leave before being terminated. It has also come to light that Tiffany, who serves as both supervisor of Thornton Township and mayor of Dalton, allegedly employed police officers to intimidate residents who dared to voice concerns. Under federal scrutiny, Tiffany's former assistant, Carmen Carlisle, has come forward as a whistleblower, stating, "Today, I am breaking my silence to speak out against Tiffany Henyard, whom I believe has engaged in unethical and predatory practices during her tenure. For the past 2 years, she has exploited her position to manipulate employees, vendors, and residents, all while maintaining a facade of success funded by the hard-working taxpayers of Thornton Township and Dalton." She continued, "I once had faith in this administration, but now I feel it is necessary to stand up, not only for myself but for others affected by what I perceive as the mismanagement of Henyard's leadership. I believe there are many more victims who have faced retaliation, wrongful termination, or deceit at her hands but have not yet come forward." Carmen expressed her decision to speak out, stating that she seeks accountability for Tiffany's actions. She added, "My choice to act as a whistleblower demonstrates my commitment to transparency, fairness, and responsibility within the township. I urge other victims to share their experiences. We cannot allow this behavior to continue unchallenged. It's time for us to demand a higher standard for our community and unite against those who abuse their power." In a contrasting tone, Henyard ridiculed Carlisle's newfound courage during the meeting, sarcastically remarking, "I think I'll start calling you Lion Carlisle. I'm so done with the theatrics." This comment was particularly ironic coming from Henyard, who has become synonymous with corruption herself. She even attempted to shift the blame for her extravagant spending onto Carmen, stating, "You should have raised your concerns earlier to prevent this situation from escalating. After all, you were on this board. We never discussed this, so you should have spoken out months ago instead of remaining silent." The case of Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard highlights the troubling intersection of public trust, political power, and alleged financial misconduct. Once praised as Dalton's youngest and first female mayor, Henyard now faces growing accusations of corruption, misuse of taxpayer funds, and unethical governance. This analysis explores the wider implications of her actions and the potential consequences for both the community and public officials. That the center of the controversy are serious allegations of financial mismanagement. Reports indicate that Henyard accumulated over $100,000 in personal expenses on taxpayer-funded credit cards, using them for lavish vacations, luxury goods, and even first-class flights. Despite Dalton's escalating debt, her administration's unchecked spending reflects a blatant misuse of public resources intended for community development. This pattern of fiscal irresponsibility is not isolated but appears systemic, as investigations into both Dalton's and Thornton Township's finances have revealed. One particularly shocking claim is that Henyard used $561,000 in taxpayer money to pay for her mother's driveway, in addition to her personal extravagances. This points to a fundamental disregard for accountability. Public trust has eroded as Dalton residents express outrage over Henyard's conduct. The scandal not only damages her reputation but also undermines the office she holds, reinforcing the belief that some politicians use their positions for personal gain rather than public service. In a town already grappling with debt and economic challenges, these allegations only increase the frustration of residents, particularly as they face rising taxes and declining public services. The ongoing saga of Tiffany Henyard serves as a cautionary tale of what can happen when power goes unchecked and transparency is neglected. As Dalton's financial woes deepen, its residents are left demanding accountability and justice, whether through legal action or political upheaval. Henyard's future as a public official is in jeopardy, and her case underscores the urgent need for reform in local governance to safeguard the public's interests and ensure that leaders are held accountable. That concludes today's video.